Hello again, average moviegoers. 28 years later, The Bone Temple has hit theaters. Let's talk about whether you should rush out to go see this or if you're good to wait 28 days later. The Bone Temple is directed by Nia DaCosta, who started out her career strong with Little Woods and then The Candyman, but took a detour to direct The Marvels, which who wouldn't take an opportunity like that? But the Marvel machine chewed her up and did her dirty. But she has returned to form with this film in a big way. This movie is the second movie in a trilogy, and while it's a continuation of the previous movie and a setup for the third movie, it stands remarkably well on its own 2 feet. It will be more like the John Wick movies than the Dark Knight trilogy, for example, where each movie is going to pick up immediately after the events of the last one. So changing directors was risky, but I thought the risk paid off. Bone Temple doesn't feel like a Danny Boyle ripoff. It's original. It has its own style, and yet it fits into the tapestry and visual language of this franchise quite comfortably. It's a difficult line to walk in trying to feel original, but also deliver on the expectations of the franchise, and I think Nia walks that line expertly. In full transparency, I am new to this franchise. I had to binge the previous movies in order to get caught up. I'm not a horror-focused channel, and I don't have nostalgia for these movies. So it's possible that I could be missing something that the fandom holds sacred and will find abhorrent about this movie. But maybe it's also an advantage that I can come to this movie with a fresher perspective and view it kind of on its own merit. And with that perspective, I give it high marks for several reasons. First off, there's nothing that feels fake about this movie. There wasn't a single moment that broke my suspension of disbelief. The practical effects were amazing and convincing, and the CGI is used so strategically that it's invisible. So I commend the filmmakers and VFX artists for that. Except one shot, there's like one shot of a building on fire that looked But if I'm only noticing one shot in a 2-hour movie, that's a win for me. The makeup is incredible, the gore is disgusting and so well done. All around, great production value from the below-the-line filmmakers. Above the line, let's talk performances. I'm prepared to praise and defend every performance in this movie. I think everyone was great, but Ralph Fiennes as Dr. Kelson is probably one of my favorite characters that I've seen on screen for some time. And that's partly due to the perfect marriage between Ralph's stellar craft and the way his character is written. He's an endlessly fascinating individual whose backstory must run so deep, yet so little is revealed about him. His views and philosophies and musings about life feel both grounded in this world and otherworldly, like transcendent, like he's an archetype of a prophetic individual. He's so watchable, he's such a great screen presence, and every time he's up on that screen, I am locked in. Out of all the films in this franchise so far, this one has felt, to me, the most personal and possibly the most humanistic. The other movies sometimes felt like they were deliberately written to be about people because that's what they have to be about. And yet this one, while making it about a crazed cult leader and a hermit and a rage-infected zombie, it manages to feel authentic and realistic and heartfelt. This movie has a lot of heart. The lore of Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal and his 7 fingers was like a buffet. I could sit and eat that shit up all day. Who doesn't love a good cult film? What else? The score is excellent. The soundtrack is really good. The editing, the camera work, the pacing, all of that kind of aligns with my tastes a little better in Bone Temple than in the previous installments of this franchise. It's still really dark and gruesome and violent, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a horror movie. And I say that in a good way. And finally, I just want to say there's a scene in this movie. Everyone will know what I'm talking about because it's so good. It's the climax of this movie and it's perfect. I think it's a perfect scene. I think that scene alone is worth the price of admission. One tiny quibble I have, and feel free to disagree with me, but in shifting the focus to Dr. Kelson, Spike, as the main character of this trilogy, takes a back seat. And I don't mean that he's not important or instrumental to the story. He definitely is, but in a way where he feels like he doesn't have as much to do or change or grow as a character. It's not really his movie. And I actually don't mind that much, but viewing this movie as an extension of the last movie, Spike seemed to me to be a slightly different character. But again, that's a real nitpick. That's it for me, you guys, and 28 years later, The Bone Temple. If you're a bigger fan of the franchise than me, I'd love to hear what you think and how it fits into this universe. But as for me, I really enjoyed it and encourage everyone to go see this movie. See if it has as much to offer you as it did to me. Let me know in the comments what you think if you saw it. If you're planning on seeing it, be respectful, be courteous, back up your opinions, but remember that art is subjective, and above all else, keep watching movies and stay average.